Honestly, there are some disgusting things you will not know that these white folks actually do until you're hearing from them. And sometimes I ask myself, why can't these people just know exactly what they are supposed to put online? This video you're about to watch, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. If it's the first time tuning in, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit belongs to original creators of every single clips and stitches you have in this episode. And the surprising thing about this video is a lot of their same white folks are not even surprised about this. They are even saying that these people's own is even better. Anyways, let me go ahead and roll out the clip for you guys so that you guys can actually see the clip, and then I'll be back with commentaries. But just watch from beginning to the end and let me know your opinion, especially as a black person. Let's go right into it, guys.
As a white woman on Black TikTok and as a white woman who has visited, I think I'm at like 20 countries at this point, the whole concept that white Americans are not as cleanly as maybe other races or other cultures, it is true. Now, before all the white people come for me, obviously this is not the case for every single white person. It doesn't even have to be the case for you. But as someone who has friends of all races and has lived in and visited numerous different cultures, like, white Americans have a very unique concept of cleanliness. Just to give an example, I ran into my neighbor today and I was like, oh my God, I love you wearing a hat. She just looks so cute with a hat. And she was like, oh yeah, I threw it on because I didn't feel like showering the last few days. That's actually kind of normal. That's actually not an abnormal thing in white culture. That is like completely normal and definitely something I grew up doing. You would not shower every single day. And I saw another white woman break down this whole thing, and it was so interesting. And she said, I'll have to find it, but she said something about, like, growing up, they'd be like, oh, well, if you swam in the pool or the lake, like, you don't need a shower. Like, I'm pretty sure I was told that sentiment as well. Just the whole ideas around cleanliness are so different. Now, I'm also coming from a background of the South, so Alabama, Georgia, Florida are where I've spent a lot of my time. I've traveled all over the world, and for example, I was just in Tokyo for a few weeks, and they are just so much more clean. They wash and shower and wash their actual hair every single day. Oh, by the way, that there's a lot of different cultures that do different things. Like, not all hair types need to be washed every single day. But I'm just saying, out of all the cultures that I have been friends with or I have visited or lived in, us whites are really unique. And out of all my black friends, like, there's a reason that on here, black women talking about body care and like different things they use, it's because black women like really take it to another level. Like, black women are some of the cleanest women I have ever met and take very, very good care of themselves. The skin is always skinning. And I've seen some people break down like why this is, that white people like do not shower every day or aren't as into their hygiene, and I have a personal take on it. I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but I haven't seen it. But I really feel like it's this idea that white people have that they are just innately cleaner than like everybody else. Like, white people are just clean. We're just so clean. And that's the reason that a lot of white people feel like they don't need to shower every day or every other day, or, you know, I don't even know how much. And simultaneously, I think that some of those white people also view like other races to not be cleanly, but they literally view their whiteness as cleanliness. And I think that has to do with like some white people like feeling like whiteness is pure and clean and better than and whatever. I feel like maybe that's the root of it, but that's just my take. And also, as someone who's dated a variety of races, like, I like every person. I'm more like the person for who they are. Of all the men I've dated, I will honestly say I feel like, unfortunately, white men struggle the most with their hygiene.
I sent it to the group chat, and I was like, I remember just saying something like, ew, like, I shower every night, like, I think it's gross if you don't, like, clean yourself every day. Something like that. Oh boy. Was I attacked? Yes, I was attacked. I was the bad guy. I was the bad guy. The responses I got to that message went a little bit like, what do you mean you shower every day? You're only supposed to shower 2 to 3 times a week. What do you mean you use a washcloth? That's super damaging to your skin. I just use my hands to wash myself. I shower once a week and I'm still clean. Okay, but I have a swimming pool and I use it a lot, so that counts. So I don't really have to shower that often. So yeah, unfortunately, these claims are very, very true.
This discourse talking about how white people don't know how to wash themselves is really fascinating to me, and so I want to share my experience about how I actually learned how to wash and what it looked like in my white supremacist Mormon household growing up. Now, I always had washcloths available to me. They were always under the sink. It wasn't really enforced or taught. It was always in the bathtub. And it seemed like there was just kind of like one in there and then we'd change it every week. I was never touching it. I don't know if my siblings were touching it. I know when we were younger, we'd play with it in the tub. But when it comes to washing, the grossest thing that still grosses me out to this day thinking about it is how we would share bathwater. I had 4 siblings. We'd all share bathwater. When we were younger, it was either like 2 and 2 would go, or like after we'd each go in the last person's bathwater. The grossest thing was my older sister. We're 22 months apart. She sometimes would shower with my younger sister. And when she was like 9 or 10 years old, our youngest sister came to us and told us that, hey, there's yellow stuff in the bathwater. And my older sister tooted. And we're like, what? We ended up getting out of my older sister that she was peeing in the bathwater. Now, mind you, me and her are 22 months apart. We shared bathwater my entire childhood. I always thought we were clean until 2005 when I moved to Atlanta. White people don't talk about cleanliness. White people don't talk about cleaning themselves. White people don't talk about lotion. White people don't talk about their hair nearly to the scale that the black community does. I went there and I was dumbfounded by how much they held each other accountable to their appearances. Nails, hair, everything pristine all the time. And my mom, I felt like, was very much like that growing up, but it felt like this was like up like 10 notches. So that's kind of where I learned most of the things you should be doing, like moisturizing after you shower. I learned that in Atlanta.
Bestie, buckle up. We're back with the Plob story, specifically to this comment. We're going to tell a story on the whitest ish I have ever seen, and it's related to unbathing. And I think this is why, or not bathing, I think this is why there are so many, like, of these stories are 99% white dudes. Okay, it's always white dudes, or like white women. Like I said, people were really shocked when this was a black woman this time, because there was a black woman who was like, I didn't even know that it came in that. I didn't even know that we did that. And I'm like, girl, I'm telling you, let's get into this story time. First, I have not been sent any emotional support squish, but I was sent this emotional support bottle of kava to try, which apparently is non-alcoholic, but you're supposed to be able to feel it, so let's try it and see if it helps us get through this nasty story. So if you don't know, I grew up the only white kid majority of the time. Here you go. You can have this this shot glass from South Korea, and I'm going to take this one from Puerto Rico. Anyways, grew up the only white kid. Came from a mixed race family too. And the only white people I was really around was my family. So we all washed, but I would always have, like, as I got older, I'd have, like, my friends who'd be like, oh, I heard white people, like, they would always come to me to ask questions about white people, okay? Because the neighborhood we grew up in, there wasn't a lot of them. And they knew that every summer I would go to the farm, in Virginia, which is where I had the unfortunate of meeting Chris Chan. But anyways, the farming white people wash very well, okay? We have wash rags and stuff. So they would ask me these questions, though, and they'd be like, oh, I heard that white people don't wash their legs. I heard that white people don't use a loofah or a wash rag or anything. And I'm like, I never really experienced that, so I don't know what you're talking about. Until I hit high school. And that's when, like, we had a lot of people come from all over. Like, it was, you know, because as you get older, you know, you have like 10 elementary schools, and you have 3 high school or 3 middle schools, and then you get 1 high school. You're all combined. And that is where I learned that stereotype, dear Lord, I can't open this. And that is where I learned that stereotype is very much true. Oh my gosh. So I went over to a friend's house, a new friend, who was a white family. I went over to their house. First of all, they were boiling chicken, like just sticking chicken straight, and they didn't wash it either. They just stuck chicken straight in a boiling thing, and I was really afraid I was going to get food poisoning. Ooh, don't worry, that's got more flavoring to it than that chicken did. But whenever I went to take a shower, I asked them where their wash rag was. And they were like, what is that? They literally did not know what that is. And I'm like, the wash rag, like the little towel, like the little version of a towel. And they're like, oh, we don't even buy those. Like, we don't know why that they have those at the store. Like, we just buy the big towels to dry off afterwards. And I'm like, well, then what are you washing your body with? And they were like, oh, soap, silly. And then like, take me to the bathroom, and they point to the bar of soap, the family bar of soap. It was like Irish Spring. Oh, my tongue actually does feel a little tingly. Nice. But I am looking at this bar of soap, and it has literally got more than one color of pubic hair on it. And it was like, it also, for some reason, had fingernail marks in it. So I guess they were just like taking the soap. Hold on. They were like taking the soap and being like, with it, and like scrubbing aggressively. And I was like, do you use that on like everything? And they're like, yeah, like we use that to, like, it says it's an all-in-one, so you know, you use it to get your bits. They kept calling them bits. They're like, you use it to get your bits, and then you do your face, and you just like rinse it off a little bit under the water before you switch parts. I'm sorry, what? And I'm like, how is that sanitary? Because like, if you're rubbing your bits, as you're calling them, and then your face, and they're like, oh no, because it's soap, it's clean, soap can't get dirty. Soap can get dirty. I will fully admit that is the only time I've gotten into a shower and not like use soap, because I was not using that soap. I like just washed myself off with water the best I could, and then I went home the next day and I took an actual shower. And from that moment on, I learned that was very common practice in a lot of white households. Like, there were several more friends that I met that didn't use loofahs, they didn't use wash rags, they were just putting the soap directly on their body. Like this bar soap, they would share the bar of soap. And like every time I would talk to these people about it, they would always say, oh, soap can't get dirty. Soap can't get dirty. What do you mean soap can't get dirty? Your pubes are on it. That's so nasty. But there's a lot of white people who believe that like soap can't get dirty, and they just be rubbing the bar of soap on themselves and then put it on the shelf afterwards. Oh, I will say that the kava helped. Definitely, like I said, it's non-alcoholic. But you can definitely feel it. But it's not like a blackout or anything. I had 2 of these, and I feel nice. I see you took your shot too, so I hope that helped you get through this story. We'll go back to the squishes next. But I was sent that for free, so I figured we'd try it for this one.
Thank you so much for watching all of that clip, guys. Let's talk about it. So it started from the roots. It started from growing up. It has been part of them that having shower every day is not a good norms, or is not a norms to them. They can literally just swim, and that is the shower. They can literally just go to the gym and throw themselves on the bed without having to freshen up and remove all of those sweats. That is why I said, how do these people normally survive, especially with their spouse? Because when you go to the comment section of this video, a lot of people are like, they're not even surprised about it. Like, it's a normal thing. Some of them will even tell you, why do I need to shower every single day? Some of them will even tell you, if I want to shower, I just need to shower like twice a week, 3 times in a week. And I wonder how their partners, boyfriends, girlfriends are actually faring, honestly. It is high time these white folks know that cleanliness is next to godliness, for crying out loud. The Bible said it. It did not just say it. It said it because that is what it is. So if, as a mother, you don't even shower. Anyways, why am I even surprised? She said it that even when she was actually growing up, one of the clips, the first clip, right? Even when she was actually growing up, it was just normal thing for them not to shower every day. It's quite grossy, and sometimes I love to shower like jeez, because I can't imagine myself not having my shower every single day. Not only every single day, at most twice in a day, which is morning immediately I wake up and night before I go to bed. So I can't imagine myself not having those showers before going to bed. But these people, it's just a normal thing for them. And you know the annoying part, they are going to say for black folks that actually love to shower, it is because their skin is dirty. Their skin is dirty. They are born dirty. They are trained dirty in hard works and every other thing. There is an interview that actually got me pissed, where this honorable white man was being interviewed and they asked him, how many days did you wear your socks? He said he has been putting on that socks for 2 days, like 2 whole good days, and without shower. There are other videos as well that some of these white folks have come here to say it out clear, exposing their dirty secrets, why they do not shower or how they do shower and then use not even sponge, they're using what is called, is it clothes, I forgot the name they actually gave it. Imagine you using like a towel to like clean your body, and that's all, without a proper bathing. I'm surprised, because if you're not even clean in the first place, how do you manage to eat clean meals? How do you manage to wear clean clothes? Anyways, you guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit belongs to original creators of every single clips we have in our today's episode. And if you haven't subscribed, like, comment, and share. And especially as a white person, if you're watching this video, please, how many days do you shower? And do you think that all of this thing that they're just saying that is very gross and disgusting is normal? Let me know as well. Anyways, subscribe, like, comment, and share. And with no further ado, I'm going to say bye. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you guys. Mwah.